BBC Introducing has been brilliant, and I think the way it's enabled people to connect and get the music out there has been amazing. And just events like this, I mean, with Jake Bugg, you know, I first got to hear about him through a BBC Introducing event, and it was literally sat up on a stage like this.
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road a couple of years ago, and there was an audience exactly the same, just as you are sat in front of me now. And I was looking out across the audience as you do, answering the questions. And honestly, just my eyes rested upon this one lad who was in the crowd who just looked incredible, looked like a complete star, looked like a young Keith Richards sat there. And I was just going, who's that? Who is that kid? Is he a manager? Is he a musician? I hope he's a musician. He looks great. And then at the end of it all, when sort of like went to leave the stage and people were coming up and handing me these CDs, he came up and he passed me a CD, and it was just like, oh, fantastic, you're a songwriter, that's great. Is your number on it? Great. And often, I've got to be honest, people give me a stack of CDs after an event like this. I'll go back to work, and I'll usually give them to one of the junior A&R guys and say, you have a listen to that, tell me if there's anything in that pile that's good, and if there is, we'll go through it. But Jake's was a CD that I listened to straight away, and it was fantastic. You know, that immediately showed that there was genuinely talent there. He'd written a song called Country Song at an early stage in his career, which actually ended up being on the album.
Yeah.
And ended up getting into a dialogue with him. I've got to be honest, I wasn't smart enough to sign him. And I really liked what he was doing, but I thought it was early days. And my competitors at the time, I was running Columbia Records then, and my competitors at Mercury Records immediately spotted his potential, had the guts to take a gamble on Jake before I did, and they signed him. And I just sat there watching Jake's star go like that and go, I cannot believe I had the opportunity to sign that guy and I missed it. But then in the wonderful world of corporate shenanigans, I ended up going across to Mercury Records 18 months later, and I've ended up working with Jake. And you know, for me, I think
you got a second chance there.
I got a second chance to work with somebody who I think is one of the biggest talents in the world right now. I think he's remarkable, and I think he's really going to be changing music over the next few years. I think he's very, very special.